I'm playing the world of Warcraft. You shall die by the hand of my stick! Greetings, the world of the internet. I am the Great Matthew Squeak, and welcome to Squirrel Talk at the Movies. It's time for another video game review, as it's some kind of new trend now. But unlike the completely dumb ideas from last time, this is Blizzard throwing its golden child in with Warcraft. Now, I should start off by saying that I haven't played much of this franchise. I was more into the sci-fi of Blizzard's StarCraft and such. But I have played a bit of Warcraft 3, and did run around as a Tauren for a little bit. So you don't need to tell me, for a game that has heavy lore, I don't know much of it. But I shouldn't have to have a 20-mile-long reference guide in order to understand this movie. With that being said, will Blizzard's golden child succeed where all others have fumbled? Let's dive right into this game world. The characters. I'm not going to try pronouncing these names. Not that it really matters, as they all fit into two categories. Humans, played by actual humans, and orcs, created through the masterwork of CG. The orcs were actually pretty interesting. Their culture and their way of life, all while we follow one young chief as he tries to find a better path for his people. But while the orcs are trying to make the movie fairly interesting, the humans were trying to put us to sleep. Stiff, wooden acting, and I swear most of these humans are asleep, with someone off-screen poking them with a stick to make them move once in a while. Since there isn't one side that is inherently the good guys or the bad guys, yes, the orcs are not exactly the villains in this. But in order for this movie to have worked, we needed heroes on both sides of the coin to root for, and really, there's not. There's supposed human heroes, yes, but they're so dull. Whenever they're on screen, I'm counting down the seconds until we cut back to the more interesting orcs, and then immediately forget about them. The plot. The orcs' world is dying, so they have to open this mystical gate thingy in order to survive, thus colliding with the humans. And during their campaign, one chief is pondering if their actions are simply destroying the new world they need to live in. Oh, and the humans are doing human things. Yes, the orc pondering if he will wind up betraying his own kind for his beliefs is far more entertaining than the knight trying to protect his king and his son that is barely in the movie. There's also this human mage traveling with him, trying to unravel secrets or whatever. His acting isn't terrible, but thanks to all the sleepish acting around him, his plotline is just as boring as everything else the humans are doing. The story as a whole can be a little tricky to follow, I blame the humans, but not entirely impossible. Design. This is where this movie shines. The humans may not be able to act their way out of a paper bag, but the movie is beautiful. From what I have seen of the world of Warcraft, they have managed to capture the true beauty of it, keeping the designs as close to the game as possible, but without going outside the realm of possibility. The orcs are big, beast-like brutes, amazingly detailed and created, and that's probably why they outshine the humans so well. Because that is Blizzard's strong point. Amazing graphics and attention to detail. I'm not sure if CGifying the humans too would have helped this movie any. With these guys, they've got acting, but it could have. The movie does tend to do quite a bit of, ooh, look at this, or ooh, look how shiny this is. As beautiful as it looks, it feels like the movie may be trying a little too hard to rely on eye candy to keep your attention. Then there's the action sequences. It's not all watching a bunch of humans stand around like statues. It's watching orcs beat the stuffing out of them. These fight scenes could fit into the world of Lord of the Rings no problem. Let me tell you, it is actually pretty fun to watch these. Overall, this is a tricky one. Mostly thanks to the humans, I can't call this movie good. But thanks to those orcs, I can't really call this a terrible movie either, so I am going to give it a meh. A meh. While this movie didn't go as south as other video game movies, it certainly wasn't good enough to climb into blockbuster stardom. The orcs are trying to push the movie up, but with the humans dragging it down every time they're on screen, it's difficult for this movie to climb the needed height, and no amount of good graphics can compensate for that. The action sequences may be a little fun, but when they stop, you are reminded how boring some of these characters are, or have to do a recheck of your brain of what is going on. So with the meh rating, I leave it up to you. If this movie piques your interest, you can check it out. If not, just stay home and play the world of Warcraft. And now for a moment with previews. Wacky, zany, crazy, but awesome. But it's not like DC is doing well with movies recently. Another video game movie. Blizzard took a crack at it, and this is what we got. Maybe it's time to call it and say the video game should not be made into movies. Pets. Is this guy still seriously making movies? Yet again, they are finding some plot hole or some unwanted question that was supposed to remain that way and make a movie out of it. And they're not even trying to give it a creative name anymore. We've had Ultimatum, Supremacy, whatever. This is just meh, call it Jason Bourne. They know who it is and will pay us money for it anyway. I am the Great Matthew Squeak, and this is Squirrel Talk at the Movies. I thank you for tuning into this video. Like and subscribe to me right now. Do it now. Also, there's this Patreon thing. You can give money to me too.